What's up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster, and for all the crap that we give Sony and their video game studios like Naughty Dog, at least a couple of them give me a glimmer of hope.
There never was much hope. Just a fool's hope.
Obviously, the studio Shift Up and their excellent game Stellar Blade was one of the bright spots in the Sony landscape last year. Astrobot and its developer Team Asobi was another obvious win for Sony, taking home the Game of the Year at the Game Awards. But Helldivers 2 was the original big win for the company in 2024, at one point rocketing up to going on 500,000 players on Steam. But then the developing studio Arrowhead ran into a brick wall of stupidity. You might remember that they ran into a buzzsaw of their own making, forcing people to sign into Sony accounts in order to play Helldivers 2 on Steam, and they were savaged by gamers for this practice. There have been all sorts of controversies, with community managers shitting on gamers, booting them out of discussions on Discord, and just being absolutely insufferable. However, their chief commercial officer of the studio and the creative director of Helldivers 2 has just very publicly denounced adding DEI slop to games.
Dear God, it's beautiful.
I love democracy.
Yes, it is simply beautiful to see such a prominent voice echoing what so many gamers have been saying in the past few years, denouncing this stuff. This is how you can tell that the worm is turning in the industry. This is how we can tell that our voices are making a difference. The ideologues in the access media will never admit that we are having an effect, but studio executives will definitely be noticing the patterns, that games like Dragon Age the Veilguard, that are chock full of progressive political crap, fail miserably, and games like Stellar Blade, which are just fun games, just pure and simple escapism, those games are selling really well. And as they notice these patterns, and as they join the fray in the push against this crap, gamers have only one thing to say to them.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to refer to it as these days. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. But alright folks, let's talk about what we have going on with Helldivers 2. It is extremely satisfying to see that our voices are having an effect. The more we say no to slop like Dragon Age the Veilguard, Concord, Star Wars Outlaws, and the more we support games that are just good, simple fun, the likelier it is that these people in high places in these game studios will add their voices to ours in the fight against this crap. We just want games to be simple escapism, where nobody is pushing an agenda, and you don't have to worry about shit like what we're seeing with Avowed, where a game in a medieval-styled setting has players choosing pronoun options, as if people living in such a setting would even have time in their day to think or even care about that kind of shit. But let's read what is going on. This is the X profile of Johan Pilestedt. I might be pronouncing that wrong, I'm not sure, but anyhow, he is the creative director of Helldivers 2 and the CCO of Arrowhead, and he posted this on X with 10 minutes to 2025. What are your expectations and desires for what the next Arrowhead game will be? I am working on the high concept, but I would love to hear your speculation. And then one guy replied, never add DEI to your games. To which this fellow replied saying, if it doesn't add to the game experience, it detracts, and games should be a pure pursuit of amazing moments. And of course he's absolutely correct. Shoehorning in DEI stuff just for the sake of pandering always takes away from a game's experience. Of course, the other side seem to think that we simply don't like it when there's a non-white or female character that exists in a game. This is, of course, not the case. Nobody complained, for example, when Joanna Dark was a thing in the old Perfect Dark games. Nobody complained about Sergeant Major Avery Johnson in Halo. Those are, in fact, fan-favorite characters, despite the fact that Joanna Dark is a girl and Johnson is a black dude. But they were badasses, and their personalities did not revolve around their immutable characteristics, so people loved them. These days, writers for games and movies use women and minorities as vehicles to push the message down our throats, and it is hollow and bland and just plain tiresome by now. Anyhow, I digress. Another X-user replied to this Helldivers director saying, how would DEI have benefited Helldivers 2? And the guy replied, I don't like labels, but mankind is united in its extreme xenophobia on Super Earth, so maybe that's DEI? I really don't care. Make good games, don't make a contemporary political statement. And once again, the dude is spot on. The best stories, whether they be in movies, video games, comic books, or whatever, but the best stories are not trying to make a contemporary political statement. They are universal stories that anyone of any time or culture can relate to. This political shit that gets shoehorned in ends up alienating tons of people and results in products that are extremely forgettable. But the thing is, this message is coming from the Chief Commercial Officer of Helldivers. If you didn't know, that title, Chief Commercial Officer, it basically means it is his job to oversee how the company does things like marketing and customer service. It's his job to come up with an approach to that stuff, and to hear him talk about just making fun games is extraordinarily encouraging. This isn't the first time that a higher-up in a company has spoken up in favor of kicking woke crap out of games in recent months. The CEO of Saber Interactive, the studio that made Space Marine 2, that guy spoke out against political messaging in games all the way back in September, and the media went nuts over the guy. And then we have the developers of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, who have made it abundantly clear that they are against wokeness in games and that their game will not have any of it. This is a trend that I expect to continue as we keep our foot on the gas. That being said, there is still plenty of work to do, so we cannot get complacent. Grums, aka Mark Kern, the former team lead of the OG World of Warcraft, he put out a statement on X in response to the Helldivers CCO. He said, "These are great words, but until you take action, they are just that, words. Do you stand by them? Stand by rejecting DEI? Then why do you continue to allow your community moderators to ban anti-DEI sentiment in your Discord server? Why do you ban any mention of me or ban my fans who are speaking out against DEI? Why do you employ a community moderator who has made provably false accusations against me, which holds your company at risk of liability? Why do you employ a head of community management that is actively anti-gamer, anti-white, and a woke activist? I love what you are saying, but it's time to walk the walk." So yeah, What this guy has said is a positive step in the right direction for the industry. The more prominent people that speak out against progressive politics being shoved into games will embolden more people to step up and speak out as well. But we have to continue to ask them the tough questions like this and prod them to go into the right direction. There is still a lot of work to be done, even at Arrowhead, where at least one prominent voice is talking like he has some common sense. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you make of this situation? Do you expect the next Arrowhead game, which this guy is helping to create, do you expect it to be good? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.